Oh, hello, and welcome to Al Dente Rigamortis. I'm Review Cultist.
I'm Mikey, the East End Trevel.
And I'm the gamer in yellow.
And we're here to discuss those internet stories, most creepy and most pasta, and be critically silly doing it. And tonight we have the last of the Wicker Saga stories as of right now, FUBAR. So yeah, FUBAR is by ShadowSwimmer77. It's on Creepypasta.wiki, so you can check it out there, along with all the other Wicker Saga stories. As of this recording, this is the last of the Wicker Saga stories until ShadowSwimmer comes out with more, I assume.
Do we know when this one was released?
We can find that out. Hold, please. This came out in 2023, was when this one was posted. So
it's possible that Shadow Swimmer's cooking on something.
Yeah.
But maybe.
He's a cooking of something up. Hopefully. I guess we should dive into our initial rundown. I mean,
I didn't know I was going to do a rundown.
I mean, depending on the grammar acquisition with like Mikey's like conjunction junction or something like that, this could be the initial rundown, and then we get a second one. But no, I meant our initial recommendations. I will recommend it.
I will partially recommend it.
Yeah, I'll recommend it too.
Wow, you just like, should I get off the fence? Should I not? Should I stay? Should I go?
Yeah, honestly, it's partially because I didn't write down my actual thoughts. So I had to think of them on the spot.
Nice.
Like, did I actually like this one? Yeah, it was all right.
Wow. Well, let's dive in and see why we gave those recommendations, and see if that changes over the course of this discussion. Starting with the rundown. So, Captain Dan McCartney, our narrator and an officer and instructor for the U.S. Army, has learned two universal truths in his career and life. Truth number one: crazy shit happens. The kind of stuff that people wouldn't believe unless they saw it, and even then. And truth number two: the Army has an acronym for everything. These truths are given a number of examples throughout the story, and then we get Dan's current situation, which seems to be at the end of the world. While Dan is working at Fort Benning, Georgia, teaching new recruits on how to jump safely out of a plane, strange fogs begin roiling across the eastern seaboard and soon all over the world. These fogs hold horrid creatures, and people and places it engulfs are never heard from again, including Dan's wife and daughters. This puts Dan into a bit of a fatalistic spiral, as he and the rest of the U.S. military scramble to reconnoiter and try and fight back against this emerging madness. He is put on a desperate mission and barely manages to escape by deploying prematurely out of a plane full of fresh panicked soldiers when they are attacked en route to a drop zone, attacked by things from the ever-expanding fog below and upon their plane. Once he lands, he discovers another soldier being eaten by dogs and quickly has to flee after putting the doomed soldier out of his misery, when it becomes clear that these dogs are something demonic. Like, they have human faces and cannot be killed by bullets. This leads to a graveyard where he maneuvers around reanimating corpses and eventually finds his way to a mausoleum where he holds out from the hellhounds and the undead by shutting himself in a stone coffin in the center of the structure after killing its occupant twice. Despite his dire situation, we leave Dan to his fate, holding out hope that some miraculous save comes for him. After all, truth number one isn't always a bad occurrence. Regardless, he laments that his current situation matches truth number two, that the Army has an acronym for his very predicament. FUBAR. Fucked up beyond all repair. Finn. So yeah, that was FUBAR in a nutshell. So I suppose we'll move on to everyone tolerates the Graham Inquisitions. At this point, I've got a couple. I'll start with this one here. So this is when he's it's in regards to like when he's talking about his like settling into his normal mundane life and like work and job at Fort Benning. And there's a bit here where it's like rinse, wash, repeat. And so rinse, and then there's a comma, and then wash, repeat. And I feel like there should be another comma after wash for that bit. So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then the next thing I have here. Last week we didn't have to cancel for high winds. I feel so. This one is so. This is talking about like again like how they were planning on setting up some stuff, and then like for like some lessons, but then like the weather kind of or like the usually when they have to cancel for things, it's because of high winds and stuff like that. But then the next sentence is like last week we didn't have to cancel for high winds, and then it keeps going, basically insinuating that like because it wasn't the high winds that they were canceled for, it was that whole like creepy fog bank and the apocalyptic events happening. And I feel
didn't see it like that.
Oh, really? Okay.
I saw it like last week we didn't have to cancel for high winds, so we took the guys out to do their thing, and then I thought that's how it was gonna go at least, but
okay. Yeah, I saw it as like basically like it's like this week, like usually we cancel for high winds. This week we didn't cancel for high winds because it wasn't high winds. Like there's like almost like a for me like there was a almost an emphasis on it wasn't high winds. Like there are no still wolves in the or there are no wolves in the still wood.
yeah, for sure.
Where's an emphasis? But like getting to the grammar inquisition here, I kind of feel like however should actually be in there. So like last week, however, we didn't have to cancel for high winds. Maybe even like have like an emphasis somehow, like maybe have the for there, like cancel for high winds, maybe like have that all capped for. But yeah,
I don't know, but yeah, there should be a little bit of emphasis on the fact that it's not saying that last week we did the training as normal. They're saying last week shit's fucked up.
Yeah.
So it should be like last week we had to cancel, but it wasn't for high winds.
Yeah, exactly. Like that would have.
Or we didn't have to cancel. Wait. Yeah,
no,
yeah.
Because
we had to cancel, but it wasn't for high winds. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that is like how you'd fix it to make it more like more poignant or about like how or like kind of like
it sets up the rest of the story being like because you read that and you're like, oh shit, what'd they cancel for?
Exactly, yeah. That's basically.
I'm sure there's a word for it, but I don't know it. And you don't know it either, so
this is gonna be a great episode.
Yep.
But yeah, moving on to the last thing I have. To my unbelieving eyes, the soil near the grave begins to cave inward, and a rotten, animated corpse begins clawing its was out of its own grave, creaking moans that elicit the agony of the pit emitting from its throat. Okay, so first of all, it's a very long run-on sentence, but like it's fine. I don't care. That's not my point. My point is the corpse begins clawing its was out of its own grave. It should be its way out of its own grave.
Yeah, I read that a few times. I'm like, what is this trying to say? I don't know. Then I forgot to make a note of it. Then I just moved on.
It's not like it's your job for the show.
I knew you'd get it.
Yeah. Honestly, that half the time that's me on the show.
Yeah.
He's like, you know what? The other two will nitpick the hell out of this story. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, so that's my issue with that sentence is it should be way, not was.
I have an additional issue that you didn't mention.
Oh?
And it's right beside the one that you changed.
Oh, no.
Can you see it?
No, I can't.
Oh, should be an apostrophe for its. Shouldn't it?
I guess, yeah. I mean...
Because ITS on its own isn't a word, right?
Well, but possessive, it doesn't have the apostrophe. Because with the apostrophe, it is.
Oh my god, you're right, yeah.
I thought they just used that regardless.
No, that's...
Nope.
Full possessive, it's outside the S.
Not for it.
Yeah,
You should know. You are the lord of the it sentences.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you are the lord of. You are the it wizard.
Mhm.
Cuckoo, cachoo. Sorry. Yeah. No. Yeah.
As far as
So-
AI overview says, yeah, it's
Yes,
with
these
an
are-
apostrophe means it is or it has. While
Yeah,
ITS, no apostrophe, is the possessive form of it, showing ownership.
Yes.
Never mind, I'm wrong and an idiot. Let's go.
Excellent. Also, when you said my AI overview, I thought you were about to say AI overlord.
Oh, well, I could have
I
said
mean,
that. It's
and I mean,
it might
kinda.
as well be.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I've got for grammar position. So, Mikey.
I have a conjunction junction.
All right.
And next stop, Conjunction Junction. Doot, doot.
It snapped open when it hit the end of the dummy cord, rebounded back into the air in a perfect arc, and, incredibly, landed point down into his thigh, nicking his femoral artery. But I digress. It happened, and I saw it, but I have no idea how. It's about as boring as jumping out of airplanes can be, honestly. So, every month, you shepherd a couple hundred students through ground, tower, and jump week, and help the company behind you with their jump week while you reset. It takes so long to get a student hooked up to their chute, raised and dropped, that a fairly small percentage actually get to do the towers anyway. It was like reality tore open, and this hungry, seething whiteness just came pouring out, enveloping everything. It seemed like it started somewhere in the coastal northeast, but eventually it started cropping up here and there all along the eastern seaboard. It wasn't long before people started realizing there was something, no, some things in the fog. It felt like the end of the world, because there is no one else. It was all I could do to keep from laughing when I saw the tears in the pilot's eyes. It's at this point that claws began peeling away the thin sides of the aircraft body, ripping long tears in the metal as if it were tissue paper. Finn.
Wow. Really? There's no other conjunction. There's no other conjunctions after like the airplane.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
I guess
Wow.
not.
Interesting.
Learn their lesson.
Yeah. Also, yeah. I like how I like to think that that all happened on one plane, or like on like this during this like class plane that they were like training in.
Oh, absolutely. Like at the start, the first guy jumps out and like
And nicks
his knife falls out of his pocket that's stuck
Yeah.
on a cord. It's like whipping around as he's jumping through the sky and stabbing him in the legs.
Yeah,
It's like, ah,
exactly.
God.
But I digress.
Yeah.
Well, that guy's fucked. Anyway, moving on.
Easy to find him. There's just a huge stream of red as he's falling.
Yeah. But yeah.
But yeah, for those unaware, Mikey grabs all the sentences, throw out a story that start with words that they probably shouldn't, like its, ends, or buts, strings them together into a sentence with sometimes hilarious results. Basically to highlight that there's always better words to use.
Indeed. And gamer, what do you have
No.
for the grammar in yellow? No K.
No K.
All right.
my favorite cell phone brand.
Nice.
Okay.
No K. All right. All right. Well, I guess we'll move on to actual thoughts. So I'm going to start with the image. I'm for it. I like it. It is an image. The image that's provided in the story is a photo of the 2 practice towers at Fort Benning, Georgia. And seeing how like we are described, it's described in the story of like what these towers look like. But I remember when I was reading about them in the story, I kept having this urge to like go onto Google Images and look for it, but then I don't have to because it's right there. So
Mm.
because I wanted to like see like where this was and like my gut go to like knee jerk reaction when I'm reading a story that gives me like a location is to like look it up on Google Maps.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
What's kind of weird about the image, though, it technically doesn't have anything to do with the actual events happening.
Well, it doesn't like it is it's a location in the story that is brought up like for a portion of the beginning. But yeah, you're right. It doesn't show any of like the weird mists or anything like that. But like, I think I like it because it doesn't like give us any kind of like idea of like what kind of horror is about to be dropped on us.
Yeah. Be dropped
It
from
just
the tower.
Yeah, it's just simply giving us some set like a bit more of a descriptive or a bit more of a more set dressing, I guess.
Mm. Like a foggy crypt would probably be more apt to the actual location.
Yeah, true.
Which
then that
wouldn't
would
be a
also-
hard image to find, I imagine.
No, honestly, absolutely not. But that might also give away like some stuff that happens at the end. So like,
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It works regardless. I'm not fighting you on it.
Okay.
Fight.
Fight. Kiss. What?
What's it actually from?
Which one? The fight.
The second one. The first one is Itchy and Scratchy.
Yeah. I honestly, one of our friends would always just like fight, kiss. I don't know what it's from.
Yeah, I don't either. He just does it and it's hilarious, but that's it.
We should probably ask him sometime. Anyway,
Probably.
the tangent police are about to knock on my door, so we should probably continue.
Whatever.
Just fucking arrest me already, God.
February's coming up. Take me.
Yeah, spoilers next week for next week. But I digress. I'll move on to the my actual thought, like about the actual story, not just the photos and such. So I'm gonna start with this quote here. We'd lost contact with the combat outpost one of our sister platoons had been manning. So our company commander sent me over with my guys to check it out. What we found was almost beyond belief. The outpost and a few blocks around it in all direction was annihilated. Actually, should be were annihilated. That's a grammar requisition.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I don't know.
No, I think because the outpost and a few blocks around it in all direction were annihilated. That's
If it was just the outpost, then it could be singular. But it's that and these other things. So yeah, you're right.
That grammar requisition just kind of slipped in. But I'll move on. Wiped out like they were smote by the hand of God himself. The only thing we found was my fellow platoon leader, Mike Landry, unconscious in the center of the blast zone and naked as the day he was born. As the day he'd been born. So, obviously, this is a reference to one of the earlier stories in the Wicker Saga, The Soldier, where Captain Landry has to deal with that weird centipede djinn demon thing in like the cave in Iraq or in the Middle East, and then when he gets back to back to the outpost, like there is like a massive explosion because like the demons are basically possessing people, and then the artifact he has like basically like wipes out everything around him and keeps him intact,
including his clothes apparently.
Yeah, no, that was also a thing that happened.
It's been a hot minute.
Yeah, it literally has been probably like a year or two. So yeah, that was like a cool, but there was enough of that story is still in my memory that I was like, oh, I remember this part. Yeah, this is like this is more crossover stuff. Just again, Wicker Saga, just cross-referencing other stories in the Wicker Saga. And then the next thing we have, I don't know where the fog came from. I'm not sure anyone does. It was like reality tore open and this hungry, seething whiteness just came pouring out, enveloping everything. it seemed like it started somewhere in the coastal northeast, but eventually it started cropping up here and there all along the eastern seaboard. Well, Project Arrowhead is happening, apparently. That's a Stephen King reference, if you don't know.
Gotcha.
And I'm actually kind of glad that the story does seem to indirectly address that similarity to the events, to that of the events of like Stephen King's story, The Mist. Because in Stephen King's story, The Mist, basically a rift opens up from a military outpost or a military base in Maine, and like a mist kind of like just comes in, like descends down to the town, and like creepy like eldritch things from like another dimension are like pouring in through the mists and such.
Mm.
And I like how the story does, like, briefly after like this quote I just had, it does bring up that like this is something out of some sci-fi novel kind of thing, like basically kind of indirectly addressing that like this is a very similar situation to like the Stephen King thing, like almost like this is a nod to that.
Yeah, even though that wasn't a sci-fi novel, but yeah.
I mean, it was in a way. It was a sci-fi horror because it was a government project that opened up the dimensional rift. So it is technically a sci-fi.
I guess.
Yeah. Like if it was like a ritual that created the portal, I'd say it was something more supernatural. But it is technically a sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I'll move on to the next thing. I was talking just early a minute ago about how the story has like some cross reference to a previous story, and then we get this. About then was the time when something big, like epically, indescribably huge, surged out of the Pacific Ocean near the Mariana Trench. And I was like, oh fuck, is this the Jormungandr from the story of the fishing trip? Like the giant sea serpent that the two like seemingly like god beings were like trying to summon with like in that story. Like, is this what's like the aftermath? Like, this is where like it's all happening now. Like, this is that doomsday that they were about to bring upon with that giant world serpent being unleashed.
Mm-hmm. Or they're already seeing the world going to hell. It's like, okay, well, we might as well bring this in too.
Yep, might as well just double dip.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next thing I have, the storms around whatever the incident was were so bad that, just like the fog, there wasn't much to go on and no imagery or news reports to speak of. It felt like the end of the world. And yeah, this is like, again, just holy shit, as if this is the last of the Wickerstogga stories currently posted as of this recording. I guess Lilith, i.e. the figure in the fog, is making her push.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like it's sort of all been coming to the kind of like this kind of stuff, like throughout the different stories we've been having, like, especially with the more modern stories, like the stories that are set in like I do in quotes, the present, where like things have been like starting kind of like things have been alluded to that are going to happen in like very soon from like previous stories, and I guess now we're getting that. So, and then the next thing I have here. I get their attention. Give the 5-minute warning. We're almost at the DZ. Once we're on the ground, I'm supposed to reconnoiter and assist with evacuation? What the fuck are you supposed to? Where the fuck are you supposed to go at the end of the world? The manned National Guard outposts got taken somewhere. Maybe we'll just try to kill something, anything, whatever unnatural things are in the fog. And so like. This whole thing about like with like the military like trying to deal with this situation, it really does feel to me like a Delta Green scenario. Like this could easily be like the inspiration for A Night at the Opera, as they call Delta Green scenarios.
But each one is called A Night at the Opera?
So it's sort of like a code word. Like it's like, oh, you've been invited to A Night at the Opera, and then your opera is supposed to like go. But yeah,
what happens if you're actually invited to A Night at the Opera though, and then you go to Delta Green headquarters like, no, we don't have a mission for you. What the fuck? Oh shit, that was an actual Night at the Opera.
Oh fuck. That would actually okay, I kind of want to run that scenario. Just like we're like, there's no mythos shit. You're about to you got to like Ferris Bueller run to your wife's dinner date at the opera.
Love it.
And you just took a red eye all the way back to Washington, asshole.
What's a red eye? I don't remember.
Red eye is like basically like late night, like emergency air flight, I
Oh.
think. Yeah, because and it's called a red eye because you're usually like red eyed and blurry eyed from like doing a late night airplane travel. So
Yes, makes sense.
but yeah, so I'll move on to the next thing I have. I scream at the soldiers, telling them to stand up and hook up, connecting their carbiners to the taut cable running the length of the aircraft. This is important. The C-shaped piece of metal is attached to their parachute's static line. The static line is, in turn, what causes their chute to deploy and keep them from being so many bloody smears on the landscape. So I really like how this story has a lot of detail, but not like overbearing, but like enough detail on like procedures and stuff like that in the story that it feels like the author either had experience with this kind of stuff, like these procedures, or at least did a lot of research for this character for this story.
Yeah, normally like people would have to Google to get this sort of information, but the story itself just tells it.
Yeah, and it's very like kind of it feels very natural, and it's like there's enough here, but it's not like overbearing. Like there's not like it's not over explaining, but it's giving us enough information that like, yeah, no, I buy this. Like this feels like the right procedures and stuff like that. So I really liked that, like just the amount of detail we got for like the procedures of like how things were operating in the for these soldiers and such. And then the next thing I have here. I'm surprised when the first man I'm surprised when the first man in the stack runs by me and jumps out the door before I can grab him. He didn't hook up. and then it continues on with like just shit hitting the fan, and like there's other instances like how desperate and how tense the situation is. And I could really feel that as I was reading the story, like just how like how fucked up their situation was. And like this is it is a really scary, desperate situation. Like on top of this guy's like trauma induced like fatalism and nihilism, of like because he's like lost as far as he's concerned, as far as he knows, like he's lost his wife and daughter. Like nobody or no place has like come out of that fog. Once it consumes their location. And so as far as this guy's concerned, like his life is he's just kind of continuing, but like he's got no hope as far as he can tell. And that's kind of the situation across the board. Like it's not just him, it's also like the military scrambling. Like they're going on this desperate mission that like it might not even do anything. They might just like basically hold the line to the last man in a desperate like last breath of humanity kind of thing. And you can kind of I don't know, when I was reading it, like I could really kind of feel that sense of like tension and dread and direness in the story. The atmosphere was thick, both because of the fog and also the tenseness.
Nice.
I did
it. One thing I don't seem to remember is what was the point of them being airdropped into where they are compared to like the military just sticking together?
I think they were trying
the fog when it gets there.
Yeah, they were trying to basically like the disparate factions of the military that were like spread out were basically trying to reconnoiter at a centralized location, I think.
Yeah, so they're trying to jump in to see if they can like clear it in that before it gets to them.
Yeah, basically they were trying. I'm sure there were other like manned like other like planes like heading toward this location where like the soldiers were basically they were trying to dump as many soldiers to a centralized location to basically hold the fort like one last like kind of like choke point or one last point location.
Mm-hmm. Little do they know it'll be their one last die.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to do a reference to our sister podcast, One Less Die, where we do D&D and such.
I suppose like if I ever run that Delta Green game based off of like inspired by this, then I guess that makes sense. But
yeah,
I mean, you tried.
Yeah, I didn't say I would succeed. I knew I would try, though.
Yeah, it was a desperate, a tense attempt, much like this story and its desperate situation.
Mm-hmm.
And much like this airplane and its suicide mission, you just kind of fell and burned.
Yep,
crash and
right.
burn. But I'll move on to the next thing I have. I take careful aim and blow the head off of one, hoping to scatter the rest. They turn, disconcertingly, as one. I feel a pit drop in my stomach as I realize the fiends all have red eyes and horrifyingly human faces. They're smiling at me. The one I shot stumbles to its feet and turns with its pack mates. The hole in its forehead, seemingly causing it no particular issue. This, and several other instances in the story, certainly do grant merit to the title of this tale. FUBAR is very adequate.
Yes.
And speaking of that, we get to my last quote for the story. I wait, finger on the trigger, and almost laughingly remember universal truth number 2. Yeah, the Army has an acronym for everything, even my current situation. FUBAR. Fucking. So I don't know why. I was like FUBAR, and my brain was like trying to say two things at the same time because I wanted to do credits, but also do like the actual line, which is FUBAR, fucked up beyond all repair. And then my comment to that is credits. Finally,
Yes, absolutely.
Finally, we have finally a story where it actually ends as the title with the title drop.
Yeah, normally you say that as a joke, but not this time.
Yep. And yeah,
and even more so because this is the last one in the Wicker Saga as well.
Yeah. At least for now, until we get word that there's more of the Wicker Saga.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, again, FUBAR is a very adequate name for the story and like the situations at hand. So yeah.
That being said, when I read that and had him explain that it was fucked up beyond all repair, I was like, huh? Because I always thought it was fucked up beyond all recognition.
Yeah, there's probably
upon Googling, yes, it also is that, but repair and reason are also options for it.
Yeah, because I've always heard it like fucked up beyond all reason. So yeah, there's just different like interpretations of what the R is in FUBAR. So
yes, but the FUBA is always the same.
Yeah. FUBAR is also the name of 2 Canadian-based comedy mockumentaries. So that's how I know FUBAR from more so than because it's about these like 2 like drunk guys who just like are going to see some like metal concert, and they're just always drinking. So it's like they're FUBAR. Yeah. But that's all I've got for actual thoughts. Mikey, D stands for evil.
All right, well, I'm going to start with this note here. I hate acronyms.
Oh, that's a problem for you.
All right, well, you're going to hate this one. Sorry about your luck, sir.
And even more so FUBAR, because as we explained, the R can mean different things. So if you say FUBAR, basically it's like, well, which one?
Okay, but like
they all have the same meaning, though.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Like, all right, look, like, yes, it can be the R can be a different thing, but they all have the same fucking meaning.
And no one's like, is this reason FUBAR or is this repair FUBAR?
Yeah, really.
It depends. If you're looking at a military Humvee that was just hit by an RPG, that's FUBAR repair.
Yeah,
like,
but it could also just be, that's fucked up beyond no reason. Like, wow, that's fucked.
I guess, yeah. And recognition because it doesn't look like a Humvee anymore.
Yeah, now it just looks like a piece of like slagged metal. Like,
yeah. And also,
deny
counterpoint to this whole thing. Mike E. The E stands for evil. Isn't your name a fucking acronym?
I mean, you're wow.
No, the E is clearly an initial.
Uh-huh.
What is an initial but a single word acronym?
It's a
damn close to an acronym, though. Yeah.
So you draw the line. So like you're fine with initials, but you draw the line at acronyms.
Well, because everyone has different initials. Like nobody knows what the initial stands for until you ask someone what the initial stands for.
I mean, fair.
Whereas acronyms, oh, LOL. Wait, is that lots of love or is it laughing out loud?
Are you for real right now?
Well, it depends if your mom is saying it or not. Like,
Yeah.
that's how you know that. You have to know the age of the person saying it, then you know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
honestly, yeah, you're kind of right.
I'm still
Only
going to
kind
fight
of.
him on it, but yeah. I mean, I'm not actually going to fight you right now, but like, I disagree.
Yeah.
But to counter your point again, as much as you hate acronyms and not knowing what they mean, every fucking acronym mentioned here is explained what it means. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
So
literally
you
goes
should
into
like
every
this.
one. Yeah.
Well, that's fair. But I still don't like acronyms.
Okay, fine.
That's also fair. You cannot. You as an individual, you get to not like things.
No.
Yes. All right. So
Also, I just realized. Sorry, just as a quick. One more thing. I'm gonna be Columbo here. Our podcast has an acronym. ADR, or al dente rigor mortis.
it's also spelled out in the logo.
I mean, that's true. Yeah.
And in the intro.
Yeah.
But when I post it on the podcast, I usually just have an ADR and then a dash and episode, whatever we have.
Well, maybe you should change it and type out the whole thing now.
Fuck that! You know how many? There's a cap on. There's a character cap on titles for things, man.
Yeah, welcome to my world.
Yeah,
Mr. Guy with a way too long tag.
DIY gamer in yellow.
Yeah.
Remember back in the day where it was the gamer in yellow but without the W because your name's too goddamn long?
Yeah.
Welcome to Al Dente Rigor Mortis, where we go on a acronym tirade. I guess an acronym debate tirade.
Yeah.
All right, no, well, I'll stop.
But yeah, valid points.
Yes.
All right. So my next actual thought here is that this is for me more of an action pasta than a creepypasta. So
yeah, it's a thriller pasta at the very least.
Yeah.
A gun was fired. That immediately makes it an action pasta.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's not always true, but
I said that as a joke.
Yeah. So I'm just apparently in a debating mood today.
Yeah.
You are a master debater.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't see it, but I was like, I literally had to I've been standing up and just like I put my hands on my knees as I started like silently laughing at that. I don't know why that caught me off guard.
Because you thought you were done because Mikey started talking. Like, one more thing.
Yeah. All right, we're all Columbo here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. So I like the monster in the sky. Because it's unknowable. It's just in the fog.
Yeah.
But then when it gets to the ground and the weirdness of the human-faced wolves, it's more for me weird than creepy, because it reminded me of the Simpsons episode where Bart is the monster, and if you think unhappy thoughts, he'll turn you into something, and it just turns into dog with a face.
Yeah, I mean, like I also like when I saw it when I heard this like the description of like the man faced dogs or wolves, I immediately thought of that one scene from the newer Invasion of the Body Snatchers where like there's a dog with a human face because like I guess like one of the pod people like got somebody with their dog or something mixed up. It was just kind of like a weird, creepy scene where you just see like a dog like turn around and like suddenly it has this human face. Honestly, one thing actually I will say this would have been a really cool like tie-in for this story because like obviously like we all know like the stuff in the like because we've all read all the other Wicker Saga stories, we know that like this fog is clearly like Lilith's doing, right? So wouldn't it be interesting if like we actually got some more like cross reference from other stories in the Wicker Saga where like, oh, these dogs are actually like the werewolves from the one werewolf story with that we saw. Like this is like another breed of werewolf. And I mean maybe these are like another breed of werewolf. Like
Kind of mid transformation.
Yeah. Or like if we had seen like like these like at first they look like dogs, but then like when they turn around suddenly he realizes no, they're men, like they're like wolf men, like they are like they're definitely like some kind of like hybrid thing.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they are. Maybe that is what they're supposed to be in this story, but yeah.
Also, it's entirely possible that whatever ripped apart the plane was also flying dogs.
Or it could have been one of the vampire things like from the one other story that we saw. Or it could also just be another abomination or another like monstrous spawn of Lilith that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, this is basically kind of like the Avengers situation of all of the bad shit happening all at once now.
Yeah.
So literally could grab anything from any previous story and also make new ones still.
Yeah, exactly. So what I'm getting here is that like you liked the flying things because like we didn't get to see what they looked like exactly. So that kind of fear of the unknown and let your imagination guess what the hell it was versus when we get down on the ground and he's actually able to see some of the hell spawn that are in the fog more clearly. Like we actually get like to see these like human faced dogs and the reanimated undead. You were a little bit like because it's something that you can visualize much more properly. It was less scary than what you saw up in the clouds.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I get that.
What's also weird too, like there's enough fog that I assumed like pea soup levels of fog.
Oh yeah,
right?
no, like it literally describes the fog as like radar, like imagery, like our image technology can't even pierce it.
Yeah,
like
so to
our
that
radar
point,
can't pick it. Yeah.
To that point, I'm surprised that he didn't just see dog-shaped shadows with red eyes.
Yeah, unless they got closer, and then he like as they got closer, he started like seeing more detail because that's how I assumed.
I don't know, man.
That's honestly how I assumed like why he didn't realize that it was a dog-faced person when he shot it in the head from a distance. And then when it turned around and he got to see, oh shit, it is actually like a human head or a human face on that dog that I just shot in the forehead. Apparently,
I don't know that whole scene. It's like right, everything before that, it's like foggy as hell, and then as soon as he gets to the guy that's trapped on his chute, like that's a pocket in the. Is that like at the eye of the storm in this fog where there's like no fog, so he can see all the detail of the guy's like entrails being ripped out and all this detail?
Yeah, or it's just like weak enough in that particular area that he's able to see more clearly. Yeah, that does kind of pose another point. Like he does, especially like as he starts running away, he starts like dealing with the fog again, which does kind of make sense because like fog. I know this fog is supposed to be like super dense and like it all like kind of almost universally like super dense and like consumes everything, but at the same time like fog as it appears like does fluctuate occasionally on the inside. So like sometimes it gets clear and sometimes it doesn't, depending on like where you are in the fog bank. So
I wish he was kind of described though.
Yeah,
like he's wandering through this pea soup levels of fog. Then he hears like these cries for help in the general area, and when he got near, the fog opened up for him to see in his horror. Bleh, this.
That would actually have been really good. Yeah, if, like the just to show like the fog does dissipate as he gets closer to the kill zone.
Mm.
Yeah. Also, might have been cool if like as he's like running through the graveyard, trying to avoid like tripping like he did the first time on like tombstones and like and gravestone like little grave plaques and stuff. Like he just straight up like smacks into the mausoleum.
Yeah.
Honestly, that would be a really horrifying. Like I know it's like it's kind of like it's a pretty quick and done like thing where he's like running through like and seeing like hearing like the churning of the earth and as the undead rise. But that'd be fucking terrifying in the fog. Just hearing the moans and the of the undead and like the earth churning and like seeing like these shadows in the fog around you.
Yeah, the idea of a zombie apocalypse on a good day is bad.
It's bad. Yeah, when it's a foggy day and the dead are coming out of the fog, that you're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the one advantage humanity would have against zombies is their wherewithal to like stay away and keep your distance, but you can't necessarily do that when you can't see them.
True. But Mikey, sorry, we've taken over your spotlight again.
Oh, that's in my actual thoughts.
Of course it is.
Also, you
All
keep
right.
saying that we like take over. We don't take over. He brings up something interesting, so interesting that we have to go on multiple like different paths to explore it. We're exploring his idea.
Hi, gamer. I'm Review Cultist. I feel bad when I feel like I'm talking over somebody.
You sure about that?
Even if I continue to do it over and over and over again, I'll still feel bad.
Okay, fine.
But yeah, gamer. What do you have then for actual thoughts?
Well, my first one is just like I appreciate the army acronyms that were being like explained to the reader. Helps a lot, reduces googling. Although they did miss one. It's cell and radio signals were severely disrupted wherever the fog appeared, and the phenomena were too dense even for ISR platforms to generate good imagery through.
No, sorry.
Yeah, ISR means intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance.
Yeah, fair.
Because I thought it was going to be like that's some acronym for some night vision or like device or thermals or something, but no, it's not. It's just in general like information gathering.
Yeah.
So to Mikey's point, that's a good one where it explains like imagine all of these acronyms and none of them were explained.
Oh my god.
This would be hell.
Yeah. But fortunately, the author does give us like explanations for most of them.
Yes. And then aside from the things I've chimed in about, the only other one is the creature inside starts to sit up and I shoot it twice in the head, causing it to collapse back into its grave, dead again. Shoving the newly unanimated corpse to the side, I scramble into the stone coffin with it, pushing with my hands and feet, ignoring the white agony of pain shooting through my wretched shoulder, manage it to shift the lid back into a closed position. Why on earth would you go in with the zombie?
Yeah,
like, you just quote unquote killed it, but you don't know that it's gonna stay dead this time. And while he's like sort of in a rush, but he really wasn't in a massive rush. He could have easily just grabbed that zombie by the shoulders, yanked it out. It's not like he was gonna fight him, and just go in there by himself.
Yeah, I did actually kind of I did like from a reader, I did love that scene because he pops he kills it once and then he like gets into it and then it starts rising again. He gets his knife and shanks it again and kills it again.
Yeah, it's kind of like comedic, honestly.
Yeah, like it's a dark comedy. Like I appreciated that. It was actually I kind of like found that fun. But yeah, like I was kind of expecting him to like once he pulled the lid off, kill the zombie. I was expecting him to like pull the body out and like replace it with himself. But yeah. No, he just like shove over.
Yeah, maybe if like after he shoots it, he hears like the door break.
Yeah, I think that's what is supposed to be insinuated is that like he doesn't have enough time for that, so he just dove in. But like that needs to be a little bit more clarified, maybe.
Mm-hmm. And the only other thing I can really talk about is something I didn't write down because I figured for sure you would bring it up.
Oh.
how this whole thing is sort of very like Silent Hill-ish or Alan Wake-ish with the
Oh, yeah.
fog and such.
Like I said, like I brought up the Mist thing, like Stephen King's The Mist. Like this felt very much like that. Like that. I'd be surprised if that wasn't like an inspiration to the story. Was Stephen King's Mist?
Yes.
But yeah, like obviously, like other stories that deal with horror coming from the fog is also probably reminiscent of this, like Alan Wake or Silent Hill.
Also, they're video games, and I had to bring up a video game thing.
True,
I did
yes,
it.
you are the GIY.
Mm-hmm.
So what now?
The gamer in yellow.
You'll never know. Damn it. Yeah, that's all I got left.
All right. Well, then I guess we'll move on to final thoughts. Yeah, I'm gonna recommend it. It runs at a pretty brisk pace, and I would have loved to see a little bit more of this apocalyptic situation. Like if it slowed down a little bit and like got a little bit more into detail of like things happening and stuff like that, like around Fort Benning and stuff like that, like maybe like that kind of thing. But and like
well, it's all through his perspective, and he's
exactly
seeing it boots on the ground jumping out of that plane.
Exactly. Like that's the one thing that does stop me from actually like punishing the story, like for my recommendation for that, because this is all being told from a limited perspective of one soldier. Like,
and one can assume if he survives this crypt situation, he's probably going to be ending up back at the fort at some point and seeing that it's fucked up there.
Yeah, exactly. Or yeah, he's about to shoot himself, and then he hears like soldiers rushing in, and the fog is now abating, just like the end of The Mist.
Mm-hmm.
I also really like that, despite his fatalism throughout the story, after likely losing his he all intents and purposes he lost his family. Like he has no idea. Like he never gets. He hasn't been able to like get any word about like what happened to his wife and daughters, but he knows that like anything that's been like consumed by the fog is consumed by the fog.
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing gets in or nothing gets out.
It depends if those characters are pro tags in another story, then they might have enough plot armor to survive.
Yeah, exactly. He still holds out hope though, like despite this fatalism, right to the bitter end. Yes, he has a way out if he's overrun. Like he has that one bullet, basically ready to like shoot himself if help does not arrive, if the hell dogs or the undead do manage to push the coffin open and like basically get at him. But he doesn't do it prematurely. Like he decides to like hold out hope in case help arrives, like because he believes in that FUBAR isn't always a bad thing.
Yeah.
Or not FUBAR. He's holding out hope for truth number one, where like just crazy shit happens all the time.
Including good crazy.
Exactly, yeah. But yeah, the story actively tells us like he's still holding out hope. I'm really curious what other tales we might get in the future of the Wicker Saga. This was certainly an interesting spot to leave us off at at the moment, like because I mean, like it's kind of appropriate because like all the Wicker Saga stories have kind of been leading up to an apocalyptic event that we were going to see. Like especially some of the later stories, like we were getting like premonitions or visions of like Lilith's plan to like overthrow like for the darkness to overthrow the world. And now we get
to see the front lines of it, of these soldiers getting basically shot through hell pods straight into it.
Basically, yeah, they're hell divers, yeah. It's an interesting point to drop off with. I like how these events tied like to the seeds of other, like at the end of other stories, like again like the Yerman like the fishing trip one with the giant sea serpent that was being like raised from the depths. Like we get that mention. Mike Landry, like the guy that Dan is like finds in the center of that, like that crater, and like when they get back to America, like he talks about like him getting like sent somewhere, and like we know from the soldier story that like Mike is also going to end up probably on the front lines of this whole battle as well, but like on the supernatural side probably, because Sarah and her kid show up at his door and like are dealing with this kind of stuff as well. So like maybe that's what brought this all on, is that like Sarah fleeing from the Wicker house, Lilith decided to like engage her, basically decided to set this up to like try and get that child, because like that's why she's after Sarah in the first place, like for a new vessel. So yeah, we're just like kind of like brushing the beginnings of this like big epic evil supernatural like conflict, and now it's over. At least for now. Like there's been a pause. Like it's almost like a not dissatisfying, but like just a cliffhanger kind of spot where it's like, well, it's all kind of been leading up to this, and like this is horror, so like it not ending on a happy note is very thematic.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
it's
that's
on
why,
like a somewhat hopeful note, though.
Yeah, it's a bittersweet.
Potentially hopeful.
I would be less hopeful and more like bittersweet. Like help might arrive, but at the same time he's fucked, or like he's seemingly fucked.
Yeah,
but he's still holding out hope. So like that's more of like a bittersweet sort of cliffhanger we have.
Couldn't help notice that you mentioned hope multiple times, so still is hopeful, I'd say.
All right, whatever. But yeah, that's why I'll still recommend it. I enjoyed the read. I wish it had been there'd been a little bit more to it, but like I liked what I got. So yeah, Mikey, these stands for evil.
All right. Let's see. I liked the creature in the fog that we don't see. As pointed out. But then I didn't like the acronyms because there's too many of them.
Or the creature in the fog that you did see.
Yeah.
Yeah, or the creatures in the fog on the ground that you did see. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I just kept going back to Simpsons.
What?
well, the old guy.
Oh, the dog hitting guy.
Yeah. So like that didn't really help the creepiness in my mind, anyway. So yeah, I'm still only going to give this a partial.
All right, fair enough. And Gamer.
For me, I still like the read. I like acronyms. I like that the acronyms were explained.
I love that it's like I didn't care for it because I didn't like acronyms. And then
let's see.
I like acronyms.
The creatures in the fog in the sky, I hated because I couldn't see them. The ones on the ground, I loved because I got a very clear visual of them. Just trying to like do the complete opposite of everything you just said. But no. Joking aside, I did genuinely like the story. As we said, it's left on this hopeful / bittersweet ending. And while it was kind of silly that he's like sharing the coffin with a zombie that he has to continually kill over and over again until he's saved, it was still a fun read. I think it would be a little bit more tense if he's just in a coffin by himself. But that's just me personally.
Yeah. Just like the dire situation of it, like basically him like isolated completely, like not even like with like somebody there to kill constantly. Like at least he's got like a buddy there to kill. It's a buddy horror right now.
Yeah,
like,
technically, yeah.
Oh my god. Also,
even in his last moments, he could at least hug that guy.
Yeah. Also, I just love the idea of, like, cause now you brought this into my head, where he's like he just keeps like shaking this guy till he like just to continue to kill him, and I just keep thinking of the scene from the Avengers where it's just Hulkbuster Iron Man like keeps like punching Hulk, is like go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep.
Yeah, it's exactly that.
Just this guy just like constantly stabbing this guy, like go to sleep, die, 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 die.
Mm-hmm. And I will agree with Mikey a bit in regards to the human-headed dog people. It's weird, like you said. It's not creepy. Like I know, it's like many things in the real world. If you see that, yeah, you'll be creeped out, of course. But with the security of reading this third person, like from a story, you can't help but draw parallels to silly things. And that kind of pulls me out of it a little bit, but not enough that I didn't enjoy the story. I just don't think those guys were as creepy as they could have been.
I suppose there should have been more detail, maybe, like because like they
weren't brought up previously, were they?
As far as I know, we like unless this was trying to like bring up like again like a werewolf kind of thing. I don't recall a human faced dog. I'm actually trying to pull up. There's a zombie manga that has like animals with human faces. That's horrifying. And I remember one of them being a dog, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like it's the same thing of like the human faced dog in that Body Snatchers movie. But yeah, it's horrific. Like how a human faced dog can be depicted. But yeah, I think also like these things were like definitely like something sinister. They had red eyes and they had a human face. It's like, oh, okay, that's much more fucked up than red eyes on a dog.
Buried the lead a little bit with that.
Yeah.
Does it actually say red eyes first and then the human face?
It does say red eyes first and then it goes to the dog. Yeah.
Well, I guess, okay, if they're glowing red eyes, you would notice them first, especially through the questionably thick fog.
I suppose, yeah. Yeah, no, that's true, yeah. God, this fucking... It's called Jinmen, I think is what the manga is called. And man, just looking... Jinmen, like Jinmen. And fuck, do not Google this shit if you do not like seeing horrific human-faced animals. Or do.
Yeah, or do, yeah.
Hey, I'll just gonna share you guys one that's really standing out. It's not it's not a dog, but it's a giraffe.
Giraffes are nice creatures.
We'll see how you think about that. And I'm gonna put this in our Nightmare Fuel feed.
Why would you do that? They're beautiful creatures. They just want to eat out of trees. That's weird.
Yeah. So like, imagine like this being what the human faced dogs are. That's a lot more like, oh, that's silly. No, that's not fucking silly. That's fucking horrific.
Yeah. Wait, and it talks. Okay.
Well, because it's I think it's like a zombie apocalypse, but like the zombie apocalypse is like people become human faced animals. I think I'm not 100% sure. I've not actually like dove into this series yet. So
the eyes are the worst part about it.
It really is.
Like the lack of.
Oh god, the first cover is like a human faced elephant, and like it's got like its trunk wrapped around a girl's head as it's like about to crush it or something. Fuck.
It's a bad time. Regardless, that's not this story directly.
Absolutely not.
Either way, I still enjoy the story, so I'll still recommend it. While it's not perfect, we can't all be Whoba's phone.
God tier.
Yeah. What was that other one that was like that we found recently that is like on par with Whoba's phone?
Don't remember.
I know. It was so good. So good that we all forgot.
Yeah.
I feel bad.
Shit. That's gonna bug me all day.
Yeah, I'll have to go through my notes.
Yeah.
But either way, that's it.
All right. Well, then I guess we've got two full recommendations and one partial recommendation. A pretty fitting stopping point at the moment for the Wicker Saga, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, well,
it could end here and you'd be fine.
Yeah, I mean, like, because honestly, like, we do kind of get like some of the other stories we do kind of like have inklings as to like what's going to happen, what happens as things go on and such. So, but I think honestly, like, this is like a nice little like spot to like leave it for now until we get more stories. Yeah.
I wonder how it's going to go if new stories are going to be adding new stuff, or if new stories are like continuing this doomsday scenario.
Yeah, or if like they were going to get more like, because the Wicker Saga has always kind of been like an anthology sort of set, like because it's like different time period, like different stories in different eras or different like points in time.
It's like playing through the Zelda series.
Yeah, kind of. I do kind of want to see what happened to like the soldier Mike Landry, and like when Sarah and her kid showed up at his door, because like that seemed to like be like maybe like a few weeks before these events.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I was concerned, because like the because Dan knew Mike because he's the one that found him in that crater, and then like a few years later, like he's like he's now Dan's now an instructor down in Georgia, and like we know Landry ends up at a school up in Pennsylvania.
And he specifically says, "I wonder what's happening to Mike these days."
Yeah, exactly. So,
which might just be foreshadow.
Maybe, who knows? Maybe like I mean, I don't want to hold out hope for Dan, but like in case he bites it here, but it would be really cool if like we get a later story and like Mike, Sarah, her kid, and Dan all like team up, or like to try and like survive this bullshit.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, and we'll see what the future holds. But that's it for tonight. If you like what you heard, or if you didn't, leave us a comment in the comment section below, wherever this gets posted. Some of us are on Blue Sky. Mikey is at the E Stands for Evil, and I'm at Review Cultist.
Not gonna lie, every time you say that some of us are on Blue Sky, it almost sounds like some of us are on Blue Sky, but one of us isn't for some reason.
I don't think I've ever tried to emphasize it like that.
I know.
Somebody might be projecting. Somebody might be projecting. Maybe you should get a Blue Sky account. I mean, I don't care. You can also send us emails at aldenterigamortis@gmail.com. That's ALDENTERIGAMORTAS@gmail.com, where you can also leave us suggestions for other creepypastas, SCPs, spooky things. You creep it, we'll peep it. Yeah. And if you'd like to help support our show financially, you can go to Patreon. We have special episodes, early access, and extra content. To all our patrons helping support the show, thank you immensely. You're helping keep those hosting bills at bay. And as always, we very much appreciate that. And to our listeners and the authors of these stories, thank you immensely, because without your listenership, it'd be like screaming into the fog. I mean, the void.
Nice.
And without your authorship, writing and posting these stories on the internet, we really wouldn't have much of a show because we have nothing to talk about. Man, we've been doing like the Wicker Saga for like years, and we finally caught up to it, to the end of it. So,
turns out next month 3 more are going to be dropped.
I'd be down with that. I'm fine with that. I want to keep reading the Wicker Saga. So again, thank you. Now's a good time to bring up that we are part of a podcast network, Crit in the Night, an actual play and creepypasta podcast network. We're there alongside our sister podcast, One Less Die, and our cousin podcast, The Role Playing Exchange, for things that go crit in the night. Till next time, I have been your host, Review Cultist.
I'm Mikey, the E Stands for Evil.
And I'm the gamer in yellow.
And this has been Al Dente Rigamortis. Sleep well. And next week,
go to sleep.
I don't think I'm going to wake up. Just going to sleep through January.
Just gonna hibernate.
Yeah.